Hi everyone, and welcome to Whining About Design. Today we have Tyler Oviedo here with me, also known as Unfollowed by Function. So today we're going to be talking about design, whining about design, and pretty much everything in between. So Tyler, here, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, hello. My name is Tyler Oviedo. I am a Miami-based artist and designer. I'm originally from Jersey. I feel like I need to say that. Just because, um, I don't know. I feel like I
Own it.
own it. Yeah. From Jersey. But yeah, I met Anna Sophia a couple years ago. I'm excited to be here and excited to be the first person on your show. Yeah.
Awesome. So enough with the formalities.
Okay.
we're friends, and so we,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talk a lot about design and pretty much like things that we see in the design world where we would do something slightly different,
yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
Um, so Tyler, please tell me, because you do a lot of creative things. Like you paint, you do 3D model, you sculpt, you do woodwork,
Yeah.
you are an architectural designer. He has a master's in architecture.
Hmm.
So like, how do you, as someone that does so many things, like, how do you balance all of these different disciplines? Like
Right.
I feel like most creatives like do a lot of things,
Hmm.
and they have trouble like balancing it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, hold on, I'm gonna take off these glasses because they're giving me a headache. But I don't know. I think when it comes to my art projects, it's all based off of like what kind of is proposed to me. A lot of the things that I've done so far have been collaborations with other artists because a lot of the things that I do are like build outs or installation or set design. And so it really comes down to like what is the project
Mhm.
and how can I use my artistic background, architectural background to use those skills to create something new. You
Mhm.
know, so it's like kind of doing it on the go. Like
Okay.
it's trying a little bit of everything because
So
I
like on a case by case basis.
on a case by case basis because like I don't know. It's really hard for me to stick to one thing. At least right now, I'm so early in my career that
Hmm.
I don't have one set thing that I'm interested
Right. Is there any
in.
project like recently that you've done where you have used like multiple disciplines?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm thinking. Yes. It was my I'm sorry, I'm thinking. It was this set design that I did a couple months ago for 3 points,
Hmm.
where it was kind of working with someone who's in music, a
Hmm.
local artist. Her name is Lapudo. And she was like, hey, like we should do a set design for 3 points.
Hmm.
And I'm like, bet, I'm excited. And basically, we had kind of a structure of like having meetings about how we wanted this concept to be played out,
Hmm.
and then also how are we going to achieve it like on a budget.
Right. Which is
Because
important.
which is important because as starting out in a city as an
Every
artist.
project has a budget.
Yeah, it's true, whether it be art or
Yeah.
architecture, there is a budget a lot of the time, at least very in the beginning of your career. And so basically, we kind of did a couple of sketches at the beginning, and then me having to use kind of two things. It was like my architectural knowledge of like 3D modeling and
Hmm.
fabrication, and also like my really conceptual, how do we make this work
Like as a
artistically
concept.
as a concept,
Okay. Yeah.
exactly. So basically, I had to build her set design. Well, we had to build a set design, and then the concept was kind of like her name is Lapudo, and she
Hmm.
was like caged in
Mm.
by these like three panels of CNC wood,
Hmm.
and the form is very like gridded,
Hmm.
but also like stretched out. So it almost felt like a web structure, and she
Mm.
was like inside of it while she was performing.
Like a butterfly stuck in a spider's
Kind
web.
of, yeah, basically. And I
Mm.
think that was like the first time that I had to not only execute a project by myself, but like use a lot of different disciplines to get one thing done. And there's also the factor of when she was on stage,
Hmm.
she had like music, like she was performing, dancing, and she also had dancers
Hmm.
and lighting. So it was
Mm.
like all of these different variables that I really appreciated from set designing. That
Yeah.
was really fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if I answered the question, but
No, I think you did. You
okay.
did. You did. The question was, um, like what recent project?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Period. How do you feel like doing this now? Like this is something that you, by the way, guys, she's been talking about and like seeing it be executed is really cool. But how do you feel?
it feels really interesting to be honest. Like I'm kind of scared because I don't know what the outcome will be.
Yeah.
Like any project, like you don't really know the scale of what something will be
Hmm.
until much, much later. And so
Right.
being on the first episode of something that's fresh and starting, it's a little bit, it's a little bit scary.
Daunting.
It's a little daunting. It's a
Skirt.
little anxious happenings.
Right.
But it's really fun. I've been thinking about doing this for a really long time. Because I would watch like design episodes. Not watch design. I would listen to design podcasts,
Hmm.
and I would feel a little bit frustrated because I I'm a visual person, and I feel like a lot of people in the design community and in the art community are visual people.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, like everything we do is for visuals,
Hmm.
and for concept. And so for me, like to listen to a podcast, I would feel really frustrated not being able to hear all of the things that they're like not be able to see all of the things that they're referencing.
Right.
And so I feel like for me, like I wanted to bring something new to the table where you could see what was happening and you could hear it really well. But there's also an opportunity in the video to show what it is that we're referencing.
Right.
Because
Right.
I feel like a design podcast is kind of exclusive because it's like, if you don't know what we're talking about, that's on you, babe. Like that's literally on you. Go Google it. Like I feel
Design
like
world
yeah,
and
and that's what I don't like about it. It's like, okay, like you can watch this without having any prior knowledge
mhm.
and be able to see and understand because I'm being able to put it side by side. So like right now, for example, like I'm gonna put a picture of your project. Me when I'm editing this later, I'm gonna
Right.
put a picture of
Right.
your project into the video so people can see exactly what it is that we're talking about,
Right.
and not have to make up like this image in their mind of something and it not be exactly what you're talking
Right.
about. You know what I mean?
So democratic. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love that.
As
Yeah.
for your president. But yeah, so that's just a little spiel about what we're doing here.
Okay.
Um, so Tyler, I wanted to talk to you more about your design philosophy.
Mhm.
And I know because I'm a friend of yours,
Right.
we talk a lot about pre-colonial art and how
Colombian, pre-Colombian,
pre-Columbian.
yeah. But pre-Columbian, I mean, same thing,
Is it the same
yeah.
thing? Okay.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it?
yeah, because like pre-Columbian people, like Native
Oh,
Americans
okay,
and
okay.
stuff, like
I thought it was pre-colonial. Well, it's pre.
they're the
Okay.
same. I
All
don't
right.
know. I don't
Well,
know.
we're learning something new every day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so pre-blank.
Mhm.
You use a lot of that influence in your art
Yes.
and in your designs and kind of just like your way of life.
Hmm.
How do you think that art nowadays, with people that don't have a pre-notion of, the indigenous and things like that, like
Hmm.
how do you think those like intersections could be better, or how do you think that we could bring more about it?
Right.
Like kind of because we live in Miami and it can get really boring really fast with everything that we see. A lot of the high rises that they're building are very commercial,
Hmm.
like white, gray boxes essentially.
Right.
And so with this pre-colonial art, it's a lot of like nature and colors, and it's
Form.
bright. It's form, yeah.
Form. That's
So
what.
tell me about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So I think that at its like the simplest way, it's all about form.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of the forms that we see in pre-Columbian cultures are very heavy. They're very like strong and bold because of the materials that they had to use. And I don't necessarily know how they were constructed. I can't remember that off the top of my head, but what I'm so fascinated by is how expressive it is, for such an ancient civilization to
Mhm.
show so much expression through form. And I feel like that's something that we're starting to kind of not see as much anymore,
Yeah,
at least specifically where we
where
live.
we live.
Um,
It sucks. It's so
yeah.
bad.
I mean, you start to see like different variations of the
Yeah.
same thing though, where it's just like glass facades, balconies repeated over and over. It's just the same thing that we see again and again. And so, what I'm interested in a lot of the time is getting inspired by specifically where I am. And that kind of drives the direction of what I'm going to create.
Mhm.
It's a very architectural process of creating something using context.
Mhm.
Um, this is kind of how architecture school is, where you use an example of something to basically make something new. Ideas of something original to create something original again.
Yeah.
Art, I mean, everything is like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like with my art and even the shapes that I make, I'm the reason why I named my Instagram Unfollowed by Function is because I really believe in this idea of like forms not necessarily having a function, but just being interesting shapes for the sake of seeing it or
Yeah.
understanding what it feels like at a larger scale. You know, we could see something that is like this very abstract shape, like on a two-dimensional thing, and then when you say in 3 dimensions, and then scaling it up or scaling it down, it changes the way that you feel it or understand it. And that's something that I really like to explore in what I do. Going back to the pre-Columbian thing, I think that here in Miami, having a very um, like large Latin American population, I think that a lot of our history of where people come from, like it's familiar. It's
Right.
familiar. So sometimes I kind of see hints of it in Miami. Like today when we were driving,
Driving through La Pequeña Habana.
yeah, and there was just like so many like really fun shapes
Yeah.
and like shapes that almost like look a little bit pyramid like brutalist styled, and I'm interested in that. I don't, yeah, yeah. I know.
I said, is there something that you see in the art and design world that like isn't happening right now? Like a
Hmm.
movement or certain activations?
I think what we're doing right now is something that I'm not seeing enough of, which is democratic design. And it's like design that is accessible to everyone. Design that, you know, you don't need to have a certain background of studies or economic status to be able to appreciate beauty. And I think that you're starting to see it in places like Europe where it's like design is becoming more democratic, and because design scenes have existed in Europe for so long, it's like it's more prevalent.
Yeah.
But in America, I feel like it's not really that prevalent. It's not that common that people will run into a pavilion. And the reason why I say pavilion, architecture background, but like a pavilion is such a good example of like democratic design. It's like a test or a study of like something that doesn't have to be made out of expensive materials, that anyone can come in and like experience themselves. Yeah. And I think that that's something that I'm really interested in seeing grow here in America and in
Like
the
just
world.
random structures.
Just random things placed in our mundane lives. Like we go to so many. I mean, we drive everywhere, you know, here, and I think that whenever I'm driving and I see like very random objects like placed anywhere, it takes me out of the matrix.
Right.
I'm like, wait, hold on.
Brings you back. Yeah.
Wait, this is
what's
nice.
that doing there?
Yeah, what's that? You know?
Yeah.
So I think that that's what's missing, and I'm excited to see more.
Right. Yeah, because I feel like in Europe, because it's a smaller scale, like you're walking everywhere, it's easier to like catch these like older buildings,
right,
that are so well designed and so interesting. But when in the United States we have to drive everywhere, we don't have that exact like touch and go feeling of like being able to stop, see, and explore building like we're driving past it, you know. And so for the United States, it's more of like how will the facade affect you other than like the inside, which is really frustrating because like we're inside like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is why I think interior design is such an important profession.
Yeah.
Because we're inside literally all of the time. Right. We're in the interiors of everything. We're in the interiors of cars, boats, airplanes, houses, offices, literally everything.
Yeah.
You know?
So how do we incorporate design into not even just like those spaces, but those objects?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, like there's not enough variance in the things that we have nowadays. And it's like in a time where there's so much technology to like literally design and build anything that your mind can imagine. Yeah. It's like I want to see more different things.
Oh my God. I love that you said that because literally, like, I've been thinking about how ugly toothbrushes are for the longest time. Like, toothbrushes are so ugly. Like, the color combinations, atrocious.
I'm not gonna do that, but there's different shapes out there.
There's different shapes out there. Yeah, no, but I'm saying like you could like there's every single area of your life has the ability to be designed,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's something that we forget because we live our life trying to survive most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, where we don't stop and think about like, oh, like maybe I can change the shape of my hairbrush, or
Mm-hmm.
literally anything. Like light switches, change those out. Those are
Right.
boring.
Can I get controversial?
Oh please, I'm
Okay.
begging you to get
Okay.
controversial.
I feel like maybe I will be not liked for this comment, but like let's say people shit on the Cybertruck. People really
They
shit
do
on
shit
it.
on it.
And hear me out.
I
Yeah.
personally,
I personally
I'm a fan.
I'm kind of a fan because
It's different.
I'm not saying I like Elon or anything, but it's just like what that is for design,
Yeah,
it's different. Like it's like when I see it on the streets, I'm like, oh okay,
yeah,
okay, that's different.
it's different.
It's just so out of like everything that we've been seeing. I'm tired of
Mm-hmm.
what we've been seeing forever,
No, yeah, literally.
and it's like it's stuff like that where I'm like, let's keep doing more.
Like what happened to the cars of the '60s? Those
Right,
were
retro,
cute.
the Back to the
Oh
Future
yes,
wing.
that was fire.
Yeah.
So I saw the Cybertruck on the highway the other day, and I was like, "We're in Tron."
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't know what Tron is, go watch it, please.
Yeah.
So good. I wish they came out with more, but like whatever.
I'm currently working on a set, like a not an album, but
Oh,
like just I do like to dabble in a lot of different types
you
of
see what I mean?
arts.
He has a lot of disciplines. He's literally music, design, art, fashion.
I try, I
You
try.
name it.
A jack of all trades, a master
Master
of
of none.
none. Yep. And so yeah, like I don't know. I get in. This is a little bit off topic,
Mm-hmm.
but like recently, I really am interested in kind of like how sound is affected, how shape is affected by sound. You know?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so a lot of the
Shape is affected by sound. So like the shapes that sound give, like
no, no,
wavelengths.
no, sounds affect the shape of something. And I think that that comes from like a really deep interest in cymatics. And you're gonna put a picture, please put a picture of like what cymatics look like, where it's basically like sound, like shape created by sound. And depending
Mm-hmm.
on the different frequency, you get a different shape every single
Mm-hmm.
time. And I don't know, there's something so like deep about that. Like, what if what we speak, literally becomes the shapes that we
Shapes.
make? And so, anyways, there's something that I really like about a synth and kind of like these sounds that you hear in Tron Legacy
Mm-hmm.
that I've been trying to
Daft
like,
Punk.
yeah, Daft
A
Punk,
fan.
yep, that I've really been trying to replicate kind of to like kind of help me create shapes that I've been making a
Mm-hmm.
lot recently that are very like, they feel very Cybertruck, if I'm being
I love that.
honest.
I love that. No, but that's funny that you mentioned that because like I've also been thinking a lot about sound.
Mhm.
And so if you don't know, I'm an interior designer, and so we think about a lot of different variables within a space, like sound absorption for offices, like how loud it will be in a space, how quiet we want it to be in a space, like we want it to echo, if we don't want it to echo.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that go into it. And recently I was on a cruise ship, and I sat in a chair, and once I sat in the chair, there was a sound
Oh,
coming from above me of like a rainforest
oh,
that wasn't there before I sat in the chair. And
wow.
so like I'm thinking a lot about sound in like a directional audio kind of way, where it's like once you pass through a certain like hallway or doorway,
Mhm.
like you'll hear a sound that like will kind of like bring some of the concept into your ears, into other senses.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Whoopee cushion.
Bitch.
As soon as you said like I
I
sat
sat
down
in
and
a
I heard a
chair.
noise, I was like, she sat on a whoopee cushion.
No. No, it was like some like rainforest sound. It was
Okay,
like it was
okay.
like a lush forest vibe. I don't know. It was really interesting. But what I was referencing was that like hearing those sounds like can like not affect, but like it'll bring in like your other senses like
Mm-hmm.
from to like enjoy further
The moment.
than like your eyes can.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like what if you're blind? You can't see the beautiful chair.
You can't.
But maybe there's a sound that could like help you bounce off of the chair that will make you help you see it and understand how it feels to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what was that music sound like?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. They're starting to do that with cars.
What?
Like, I saw this video on Instagram the other day of what's his name, the guy from Black Eyed Peas.
No clue. I'm sorry.
No. I forgot his Will.i.am.
Oh yes,
Will.i.am.
Will.i.am.
So he's like driving what I want to. I think it's like a Mercedes. I don't know. Maybe whatever. But basically now I don't know which company. Now when you're driving the car, it creates sound speed up, or like let's say you create like you turn your turning signal,
Mhm.
it creates a different sound. So you literally have a composition of music as you're driving.
No way.
So like you speed up and it's like the beat picks up. It's like
oh my
like,
god.
Like let's say it's like 20 miles per hour, and you're like doom 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 doom, and then as you go faster, it's like doom 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 doom.
No way.
Yeah,
you go faster in the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah. I feel like
if you see me, then you mean it.
I don't know how safe that is because like imagine you're driving and you're like
yeah.
Yeah,
that is
y'all
so,
feel that beat, right?
That is so funny. Oh my god, that is hilarious. No, but that's so funny. But you just after you said the car, you reminded me of like the road, like the road.
Gosh, I think my nipples out.
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
The road. I think it's in Germany or Sweden, where you drive on the road and like a piece of classical music will be playing.
Yeah.
Based off of like the bumps in the road and your tires.
Yeah.
Tires are going.
Mm-hmm.
It'll like make a sound.
I remember that.
Okay. Well, I think this concludes our first episode of Whining About Design. We touched on a few topics that are kind of random and got to know Tyler here a little bit better. I'll say, yeah, we drink wine while we talk about the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to mention that. We're drinking Chardonnay, I believe. It's really delicious. You can pair it with fish, cheese. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This was fun.
It was fun. Thanks. Like and subscribe. Bye. That was fun.
That was really good.
You think so?
Yeah. If